Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti, and pleased to be joined by Brian Nadeau. Brian, well, first time working together.
Yeah, Ron, it's a privilege, an honor. It's good to see you after we've kind of been ships in the night here for several years. So it's good to be back with Ashley last time and you today, and looking forward to a good 9-race card.
Yeah, good 9-race card, and we got, of course, if you're joining us now, you know we have Twilight Racing today because it is 1 o'clock each and every Friday, and we've started our three-day race week now until I think the end of July or thereabouts. We're working on the new, putting in a new track, a new Tapeta surface, so it's going to be a little bit strange when they're going around the track, but I'm sure everything will be a lot of fun. And, you know, as each and every Friday, Brian, we have the Stronach 5. Let's show you the slate. We got a couple here from Gulfstream Park, race 6 and race number 8.
Yeah, it's an exciting bet, Ron. $1 minimum, great low takeout as well. The pool's been pretty solid, and it's a good card today. We've got a couple here, as you mentioned, decent races in our sequence and then around the country as well. Pimlico and Golden Gate and Santa Anita, too.
Sorry, Brian. The Pimlico, we're off the turf this afternoon. We just wanted to let you know that if you're starting to handicap that well. So we've taken care of all the stuff that we need to take care of to get going. We got our first race today. It's a mile, a claimer, Phillies Mastery and up, $6,250. I know I lost my top pick in here, the number 2, Lady Fiorella. I know you got an early pick 5 ticket. Yeah. Let's check it out. Did you use Lady Fiorella?
Well, I had her on top. I think we both did, Ron, and she was kind of the house horse that we knew maybe we could trust. So I scratch in to the 3, but it's 1-3-6 to start it off. And as I kind of mentioned, we'll talk about it in a second. It's a group now without Lady Fiorella that is a little bit tough to trust. Horses coming in maybe not off great races, so we've got to see who can bounce back. I'll spread a little bit. I think I've got the 3 that are most likely to win. We'll figure out the order. Race 2 is a little bit of a spread as well. 5, 6, 8, as you can see. And I think those are the 3 2-year-olds, Ron, that the public will zero in on. And again, I'm not necessarily sure who will win, but at least on paper, they're the 3 that look best to me. Race 3, the 1 and the 5. La Hinch coming from off the pace a little bit. Croy going to be on or just off the pace. And I think she's got a tactical advantage for De La Cerda. So I like her best there, but I'm going to use both of them. And then my single in race 4, 4-1 on the morning line with Union Gap, comes in off 2 strong wins, claimed by Delgado, 32%. So there, you can use others in that race, Ron, but I'll go with the single, number 1 down inside. I'm a little 1 heavy, as you can see. And then in the get out race, race 5, I've got it 1-3-5. Blue Songs, who we'll show a video of in a little bit. I think she had a little bit of a trip last time. She's going to be a decent price. I'll put her on top in a race where, again, I don't necessarily trust the favorites. Go price shopping a little bit. It's a $27 play on a 50-cent bet. We'll see how it shakes out, but I think there's some favorites in there, Ron, that don't have to win, and I think there's some price alternatives, too.
Yeah, I sort of agree with you with that single there in race number 4 with the 1 horse in there. And you do have a lot of ones. You see those red numbers up there. Well, you know, we both mentioned we had Lady Fiorella on top. I scratched into the 6, Shea Perry, who's dropping to this level. First start since I thought facing considerably tougher before going to the sidelines back in February. Paul Kopach, Luca Panici in the saddle today. And it was just simple on the drop for me. It was my second choice, so I just bumped this one up.
Yeah, and if she runs back to that race 2 back, she's going to beat this field, but she's one of a few in here where you kind of alluded to. She didn't really fire at all last time, was facing much better. So I think the drop today, kind of back with friends, she can certainly get on track. But again, she's in for $6,250 after running against much better. So you kind of wonder where her form is. She also hasn't been out since February, too. So yeah, I agree. She's a major player. Just depends on what Shea Perry do we get today.
So you bumped up. Do you have the number 3, as you said, National is on your ticket here?
Yeah, and she's very much like your top pick, Ron. She comes in off a very disappointing race at the level at 5-2, where she didn't really have a lot of trouble. She was well behind Lady Fiorella. If she bounces back for Delgado to the win 2 back, the win 3 back, yes, she's going to be right there too. But again, comes in off a real dud. What are you going to get today?
And currently, if you're watching the board very early in the wagering, it is the number 6 taking some early money. You mentioned when you were putting your ticket together about the 2-year-olds in race number 2, 5 1/2 furlongs. And of course, that ran pretty well last time out, Merlin. I know you had some interest and wanted to go back and show Merlin and I guess Whiskey on his lips performance last time out. A little further back than I was originally going to show
Yeah,
it.
you kind of beat me to the pot to this one because I wanted this replay too. And here we see it here. Here's Whiskey on the lips doing the dirty work, chasing Papa Cat, who was really good that day for Mark Cassie, and kind of got fried off the far turn. Merlin had the experience that day as well, runs him down to get second. Papa Cat was long gone. Odds bet to even money on debut for Cassie. Both of these horses ran very, very well behind a 2-year-old that I think is probably going to, go places this year. But I went with Whiskey on the lips just because I thought he ran harder early. Maybe off that experience, he can move forward a little bit. Merlin's going to spot him a little bit of tactical speed as well.
Yeah, I'm going to stretch out slightly to 6.5 and here for Juan Alvarado. Edgar Zayas, leading rider in the saddle today. I want to show you a stat on trainer Carlos David on Whiskey on his lips with his 2-year-olds making their second lifetime start over the last 2 years. 5 for 22, 23%, 50% in the money. Nice return of investment at $2.43. So add that to your handicapping there. The other horse I thought had a shot was the number 2 Deal Go Down, is the son of Cairo Prince, debuting from Mark Cassie. Mark Cassie so far 4 for 6 at the meet with his 2-year-olds. You just saw one of them winning just there.
Yeah.
His barn has been on fire with these 2-year-olds.
Yeah, without a doubt. They've been very well prepared, Ron. And I think this is one where you probably should check the tote board. You want to see this one live, taking money, if that's the case. If he's ready to roll today, he's not going to have to run huge to beat some of these experienced 2-year-olds.
Well, let's go to race number 3 this afternoon. A mile on the turf allowance, optional claimer, state bred. These are 3 and up, or the optional tag of $16,000. Scratch the 4, scratch the number 8, and they're going to go back and show you a performance a couple of starts back between Till the End and Croy. This is back on, I believe, March 16th, and you're going to see here during the stretch run, Till the End is the one, and of course, Croy, where he likes to be, somewhere on the front end. He's just going to come in. Now you watch the one horse in here is going to come over and put the horses in tight quarters to his inside. He actually gets the best of Croy in this day, but is disqualified and placed 4th, and rightly so for bothering those 2 horses.
Yeah, definitely some things going on there in the stretch. Both of them are major hitters in here. I thought Croy, maybe with his tactical speed, as you alluded to, he always likes to be on or just off the lead. Not a lot of speed in here, I think. So I do expect Till the End to make a run late, though, for sure.
Yeah, sorry. He's one of my favorite horses. He's elevated, you saw there. But Till the End, who won at this level before being disqualified and placed second, drops. He failed to fire last time out against those 25 allowance optional claimers. That was going a mile in the 16th. Safi Joseph Jr. This is a 9-year-old. Edwin Gonzalez in the saddle today, who was aboard on April 16th, so maybe trying to get some amends. With that said, I think these might be the logical 2 in this particular race. I know you can go with the number 1 you had on your ticket, La Hinch.
Yeah, he's a lot like Till the End, coming out of better races. Those are open company races he's been in of late. Now he's with State Breds in here. But another one, a lot like Till the End, lacks a little bit of tactical speed. It's going to spot some ground to Croy. But his best shot in the lane should be, makes him a player at least.
Yeah, definitely on the ticket. So that's how we see the first 3 races on the card. They're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll have my Rainbow 6 ticket.
And they're off. Second in the 2-path. Round bumper inside. Race. A quarter of a mile to go, and he's 6 on top. Last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today, Ron and Brian. It is a beautiful day here in South Florida, like it normally is with a fast-made track. Firm turf course, Brian, and already the Rainbow 6 jackpot guarantee is up to $350,000. We were just mentioning, I thought it was hit the other day. I can't keep track anymore, so it's a great bet, of course, a 20-cent wager. Let's quickly go to my ticket, and I got a $43.20 tickets, which is usually my way of going. I went 3 deep in here. I used Union Gap, your single, in there. But I thought maybe the Rain Man, Time Won't Let Me Go, have chances in here. I hate to get knocked out in the first leg. If you follow my tickets all the time, I'm never going just singling in the first leg, even though there might be a horse that's going to be 3 to 5. Race number 5, I used 3 in there with Katani, Courted, Starry Hope in there. I know that you are going to show Blue Song race to that. In race number 6, just too deep in there with Tonalism and Brett's World. In race number 7, going to go 3 deep in here. I like this race this afternoon. Good betting race, setting the mood. Kitten's Romance, looking like a queen for Bobby DeBona. And race number 7, race number 8, boy, did we get bombed by the scratch bird in there. I went with Karen's Cove and Diamond's Joy in that race. And in the last race, we both lost a horse we like, so I moved up Touring Egypt. A couple other horses in there. The number 4 horse, Awesome Ella, 43-20 for me.
It's that kind of sequence, isn't it? I don't think you have to go too deep. I like that. We were talking off the air. That's a type of play, you know. Try to turn a little bit into a lot on a day like this where you said the scratches kind of took some steam out, maybe a little in a couple of those later races. This is the type of ticket that you want to play.
Well, getting to this 4th race, which, by the way, is a 6-furlong sprint. These are claimers, 3 and up or 3-year-olds or 4 and up that have not won 3 races. And I can understand that Union Gap, I think, is going to be the big favorite who's changing barns this afternoon, going to the Jorge Delgado barn after that claim.
32%. I mean, that's a huge angle. And I think, Ron, in these lightly raced horses at these beaten claimers, it's never a bad thing to be rising in class off a couple wins. That's what this one does. It looks like he made the claim at the right time, too.
Yeah. The number 4, the Rain Man, who we both have the same exactor up there, stretching out to 3/4 of a mile again after shifting out to finish a 5-wide second against this level of competition, going 5.5 furlongs. Gilberto Zerpa, MCL Jaramillo, really consistent 4-year-old.
Yeah, he's a hard knocker. He fires his race every time. Sooner or later, he'll get it done at this level. Last 3 starts in the money against this type. Ace connections as well. He should be right there, Ron.
You have the number 5 and 3rd. I had a little further down, and that is One Turn Johnny. I like the name, One Turn Johnny.
Drops in, rises in class, but was in for 12.5 last time. So, facing better today. What do you do off that win last time? Does he regress a little bit? If he fires right back, he's a player. I wonder which way he's going. That's why I've got him a little bit underneath.
And one of the horse that I used on my Rainbow Six ticket was the 7 Time Won't Let Me Go. He was hoping to stretch his speed to the wire. After responding to that drop down last time out, he went a duel for the lead. He finished 2nd. It's more of a connection play for me. Kathleen O'Connell, I love the work she does. Miguel Vasquez always flies under the radar. He's one of the best riders we have here.
Without a doubt. Nadib was really good winning last time as well, and I don't think anyone's going to fire like that in here.
Race number 5, 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf. These are claimers, fillies 3-year-olds or fillies and mares 4 and up. Non-winners of 2 in life, 20 down to $16,000. I did go with the number 1 Katani, but I know you have a horse on top in here, and that, I believe, is Blue Song, right?
Yeah, a little bit of a price in here, Ron. We'll take a look at the replay as well. I mean, 1 for 19 with 6 underneath finishes. I don't love picking these kind of horses, but there she is in the back a little bit, the 10 horse, while the 2 up front were kind of just going a little bit slow as well. And Jimmy Smoking Carrot and Sylvania, there you can see there. And she's weaving her way through here. I thought she made a pretty nice run to get into contention. Didn't fire through the lane, but she had to work pretty hard to get there. The top 2 were kind of just doing their own thing up front. Stayed on nicely, and it was by far a much better effort than she shows. I don't know a lot about this barn, but 3 for 5. 2 for 3 with newcomers to the barn. If she can run that race back at what should be a nice price, she's not without hope. And, I also kind of felt that some of these other gals were just, to me, a little tough to trust. The price will be a lot better on Blue Songs. I found it tough to come up with value today. She was one of them.
Yeah, this trainer just has arrived here. He used to train in California, came back. His horses have been running exceptionally well. Yeah. And boy, they've been taking money. So a good point out by you in there with the number 3 horse in there. I did go to the inside horse in here with the 1 Keitani, who's a previous winner at the distance and going to stretch out. Finished that late closing 3rd. It was against similar quality, going 7.5 furlongs. It's the daughter of Cairo Prince, trained by Bobby DeBona today. And I think this one sits behind the suspect pace in here. I don't see anybody. One of them is going to be Courted, I would believe, is going to be on the lead. So I wasn't enamored with anybody that you just can go to the front lead. So I thought this one could stalk and maybe reap the spoils of those horses that back up in front of it.
Yeah, absolutely. She's only run 7 times, so there's still upside here. She seems to be moving forward. Bobby really got a good effort out of her 2nd off the claim. As you mentioned, this is the perfect post for her style as well.
And as we mentioned, quarter conditioned by Jorge Abreu is stretching out with the tactical speed needed to either set or, sit right with the pace this afternoon. You got a strong front-running rider in Sammy Camacho. Certainly adds to the appeal today. It's going to be interesting to see. We've been gone for, live racing for 4 days. Always interested the first day to see how the turf course might be playing. They watered it over the last few days. We had some intermittent rain. So is speed going to be good? Is it going to be closes? Because when speed is good on the Gulfstream turf course, it is good.
Yeah, it's tough to run those horses down when they get out front and kind of breathe that air and get a little brave, too.
One other horse I wanted to mention here, Starry Hope, is going to try and make it 2 in a row after responding to the drop down in competition. Went up, duel for the lead against those 16 maidens, going a mile into 16th. Monica Majoey is the trainer. Jose Morelos atop his daughter of Lee. Here's where I saw the speed between Quartered and Starry Hope, which made me lean towards Catani. But that's not to say that your 3-horse may sit that exact same trip for a barn that's doing exceptionally well.
Yeah, I think you're right. Starry Hope probably shakes out as the inside speed. And we could get some in here with Catani and Blue Song. They're going to need some. They're going to need a little bit up front, but I think they might get it.
Let's go to race number 6, and just a reminder here, this is the first one of our 2 legs in the Rainbow Six situation. We did have a couple of scratches in here of Grazer and the number 9, Pugin, I think it is, Pugin, in the race in here. I originally had the number 4 on top, so I didn't lose anybody in here. I'll start with that one. This was a mile, claimers, 3-year-olds, 4 and up. Non-winners of 2 in life, 20 down to 16. I went with Totalism, who's dropping into this condition claimer after facing 25 allowance optional claimers in his 2 previous races, which includes, I thought, a workman-like 4th place finish at the distance, 2 starts back. Enrique Amato, Lionel Reyes. It's just the drop for me right there. Just as simple as that for me on that one.
You said it all, Ron. I mean, if this horse runs his race, he's going to win. There's no doubt about it. Both of his last efforts just basically much better on paper than what anyone in here has done. Maybe the drop is worrisome, but you know what, Ron? Maybe at the end of the day, this is just where he's supposed to be. Get a win, move on. If they claim him, they claim him. But either of those last races are going to beat this field, and if you're going outside the box, I am a little bit, you're still looking up at Tonalism for sure.
Well, you went with the number 2, Braccio de Ferro. I like saying the name of the horse, so I'm glad you picked it so I can say it.
I couldn't say it like that. The scratch at Grazer takes a little speed out of this race. I was hoping Brett's World, inside speed, Tonalism pressing. Maybe we get a little hitting up front. I'm going to need it with the 2. He's going to have it come back a little bit. But if you look at his running line a little bit, he's up close, drop back, came again. Maybe he gets a stretch run in here at what should be a decent price. Zayas sticks. I think that's a positive. But again, your top pick, my second pick, is going to be a real problem for these.
Brett's World stepping up to face winners, as you mentioned, responded to the class relief. And I like the return to the blinkers last time out. Wire-to-wire victory against those 20 maidens last time out for Bobby DeBona. Bobby DeBona, that particular week, we've mentioned him a couple of times now, was just on fire. I think he won 3 or 4 races over a 2-day span. This being one of the horses. Tone feeling on the inside, stepping up to face winners. Got headed and fought back, which I like, to break those maidens. But it's tough to make that big jump from maidens, even going to non-winners of 2. It's a tough jump for me.
Yeah, 15th time was a charm. Sometimes I fire. Maybe the old light bulb angle, but yeah, you're right. It's not easy.
Well, good. I want to ask you, I've noticed this over the years. Now, we talked about it, a lot of people. Horses are like that 0 for 15.
Yeah.
Then they win. Then they run. It seems 2 good races for some reason, and then you go back maybe to that previous form.
Yeah, sometimes it takes a little while. Sometimes that light bulb goes on. They can fire right back. I'll tell you what, if you like Tone feeling, you're going to get a nice number to try and find out.
Yeah, we'll see how that horse runs. And like I say, it's going to be interesting to see how the day plays out as far as post positions and speed goes today. 7th race this afternoon, a mile on the turf. The turf, if you're just joining us, is firm. Allowances, fillies and mares 3 and up started for $25,000 or less. These are optional claimers, and we did have a scratch of the main track only in here. And you went with the number 4 horse in here, I believe, and that's Countless Drama.
Yeah, well, you talked a lot about speed, Ron, and I kind of think and hope Scentless Drama is going to be loose in here, or at least on the lead. Jaramillo puts this one on the lead. She comes out of a turf sprint last time where she basically got run off her feet, and that's not what she wants to do. You look at the route form before that. She's been on the lead. She's been running well. You said it perfectly. We've got to see how this turf course is playing. We've had 4 days off of racing. It should be very, very firm. If she can catch a little flyer at the start, maybe nobody pressures her. Maybe she gets brave, forgets to stop.
Well, I went with the number 8 in here, and I don't know if this one is the morning line favorite or not. No, fourth choice on the board, so I'll get a little bit of a price, and it's setting the mood. Who's stepping up to competition. I'm going to go back and show you this horses. I just wanted to show you this performance. This one, as I always say, you'll see right there is the number 2 that day. And just, further back, just had to take the overland route in here. And if you listen to the caller, Pete Aiello, he'll be saying, the favorite, this horse, don't forget, is, I believe, 3-5 this afternoon. And just comes flying at the end for for Saffie Joseph Jr. J.C. Diaz is going to be in the saddle. Ed Garzai is going to go to Kitten's Romance. But this horse, when you watch the race, it just didn't think this horse could win. And just came flying in the stretch with no whip, no nothing, just right down the line.
And that's a tough way to win races here at Gulfstream, especially coming from behind. She looked good doing it. Saffie, it's just winning everything. 30% on the meet. I think he's been in the exacta around 47% of the time. So, you play against him at your own peril. And you mentioned 9-2 on your pick, 5-1 on mine. I think this is the race, especially in that late pick 4, late pick 5 of the Rainbow, where you might be able to look for some value.
Yeah, and I know you both had some interest in looking like a queen who's stepping up to this level again after following. I thought a well-meant second-place finish as the favorite at this level of distance. That was a couple of starts back. So fourth last time out for Bobby DeBona. There's that name again, Sammy Camacho. So it's a daughter of looking at Lucky. 13 for 25 in the money, I believe, on the local turf. This one knows its way around this turf course.
Yeah, without a doubt. and Bobby's poised to have a day, isn't he? Every race we've talked about him, these are horses with legitimate chances. Looking like a queen, yeah, as you mentioned, it's a little rising class, but I don't necessarily know, Ron, if this group would be any better than the one she was seeing last time for 25. You look at her recent races, she's been very, very well. She's run very well, All her figures fit with these. She's another that I think you have to use. It's a spread race.
I had to double check on the trainer of the number 1 horse in here, Kitten Romance, trained by Mark Hennick. You probably left this one down here. It's been knocking on the door in 3 consecutive races at this level. Includes the even performance from the rail last time out, so breaking from the rail again. Why can't this horse be on the exact or a try?
Absolutely, Ron. She's got tactical speed. She's going to save all the ground. You said it. It's funny. I said, Mark Hennig, he's still, he's still here. Obviously, he's up in New York. Popped with like a 63-1 firster the other day up in New York. But we know how good of a job Mark does. One of the easy guys to root for as well. And Kitten's Romance, as you said, she's going to be right there underneath what figures if she runs her race. Well,
race number 8 this afternoon is, we got, like I said earlier, it's first of all, it's 7 furlongs. Claim is 3 and up, the $12,500. This is leg E, the final leg of the Stronach 5. But we did have some scratches in it. They were pretty, big scratches in here with the 1 Honolulu Express, the 2 High Heater, and the number 4 horse in here. I ended up going with Karen's Cove in here. He's stepping up. Drew clear to wallop $8,000 daily claimers at the distance. It's basically Rohan Crichton. Boy, his barn has been going good, along with Edwin Gonzalez, who joined us from up north, and he's been right there in the trainer stands, in jockey standings,
Yeah, he had a 4-bagger the day before I was on with Ashley last month, and he's been, as you mentioned, top 3 in the standings, and this horse won for fun last time. And with these scratches now, Ron, I don't think this is probably that much of a tougher group. And if he runs back to that race, the rest of these are all looking up at him.
Well, I know you had some interest in the number 7, Gemmo, and this horse on top. You have one of the horses that didn't scratch out of here.
Well, I had a lot more interest on Gemmo when he was 12-1 in a deep field. So I did have him on top. We'll show a replay here. I thought he was pretty good winning last time. Maybe I was getting a little cheeky in here, but here you see him down inside. He's got to work out a trip a little bit, and he does. He kind of pulls back, tucks around, and I thought he was pretty good winning. It was lesser, but I like the aggressive rising class. He's the 2, that does drop back here, and he's still going to have to come around and rally. You're going to see him find himself in deep stretch, and he really kicked on nicely. Yes, the top 3 were all kind of, pressuring each other around the track, and maybe he won by attrition, and, maybe it doesn't look as good as it does because the 3 in front of him were stopping a little bit. But when you drop back and come again like that, Ron, I think it speaks nicely to your effort. As I said, I liked him a lot better at 12-1 in a wide open field. Now the scratches, I probably get 3-1, but it's an aggressive rising class for a Fuentes barn that's doing everything right so far at the meet. The scratches kind of take some steam out of this race. I'm still going to come back to him a little bit.
Yeah, and the bullet work coming into that, because when I saw that you ordered the replay, I said, let me go back and look at this horse. It was a good performance. But at some days you get those scratches, nothing you can do about it. Race number 9 this afternoon, 1 mile on the turf. These are maiden claiming fillies and mares 3 and up, $16,000. Excuse me. Scratch the 3, couple of jockey changes on the 2. It's Wilma Garcia, and on the number 8, I think it's I can't read my rights. I think it's Jose Morales, but I'll double check. Well, Pete will be on in a minute, give you all the stuff you need to know about that. Funny we should ask. I had a little bit of a long shot in the last race, and I was complaining this morning when we were getting ready to do the show, and I said, "No, I lost my long shot." And Brian says, "Is it the 3 horse in here?" And that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, I mean, I think we both had the same idea. We didn't want to pick the favorite, basically, and we were trying to get a little, like I said earlier, a little cheeky, and we had a price on Forever Ours. Well, she's out of it. What are you going to do? You go to the 1, I go to the 4. Regardless, I think that's probably the exacta run.
Yeah, Touring Egypt dropping to the 16 level, turning back to the mile, faced those 25 maidens in 3 consecutive races, which includes that close-up third place finish going 7.5. A couple of starts back. It's Terry Pompey, Miguel Vasquez in the saddle, so good connections. And you can go to Orsamella, who's cutting back to the mile today.
Yeah, I mean, I scratch into her, you scratch into the 1. I didn't want to pick Orsamella, Ron. I mean, she didn't. You think last time at 9 to 10 off the big drop, she's supposed to move up. She didn't. She basically kind of sort of ran her same race. Now she's 0 for 11, 5 underneath finishes. I mean, I do have her on top. If you're playing your rainbow or any of these late picks, you have to use her. But boy, tread lightly on this kind.
Yeah, and the same thing with the number 9, Kick Out the Jams, who goes to the Mike Baker Bond and immediately drops to the 16 level. Had that clunker debut going to 25. But it was won by a pretty good horse that we've seen around here, a repeat winner called Kahiko. And you just the respect of Mike Baker, you would think, he's a very, very logical trainer. And what I mean by that, he puts horses where they're supposed to be.
Yeah, if you're coming back to Kick Out the Jams, it's the Maker angle off the claim, because he does do a good job. But you said it perfectly, Ron. This horse didn't run an inch on debut.
No, I mean, and that is like because of the scratches in that race. So that's how we see the 9 race card this afternoon, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It's a beautiful day in South Florida, so we haven't had much rain, so we're going to go right to the lightning round today. And as I do each and every week when we come back after a little hiatus, I want to show the jock and trainer standings. We'll go to the jocks first, and always good there. You see MSCL Jaramillo made a pretty good move to jump in front of Edwin Gonzalez. Edgard still the leading rider with 57, but this is always Paco. He deserted us and went to New Jersey. And Miguel, like I said, under the weather, always rides good.
Yeah, I mean, this is your trifecta box going forward, right, Ron? It's just a matter of what's the order, but these are the top 3 clearly. And as I said, I've gotten in tune to Edwin Gonzalez over the last month. He's been very impressive.
Very impressive, and he's a tall kid, too. He looks wild on a horse, but boy, can he get him to run. Now, this is not the case with the trainer standings here. I show it every week, and everybody goes, why do you show it? Well, you have to, because Mark Cassie, as we mentioned, with his 2-year-olds and just other horses, have been running exceptionally well. For him to be in second, that's usually not Mark's angle here. Carlos David, of course, is always there, but Safi, he's in another world.
Well, yeah, he is, Ron, but he's also 30%. So, yes, he's starting a lot more horses than everyone,
right.
But even if he had the same amount as Mark, he'd still be ahead. So I think we maybe take it for granted. It's just so impressive. I mentioned it earlier. I think he's 47% in the exacta. It's remarkable, and he's just lapping this field right now.
Yeah, and Juan Carlos Avila, he had a great weekend. I think he won 2 races on Friday, another one on Saturday, another one on Sunday. So he's making that move. Just wanted to always like to update you with what's going on around here. Not that you can't find it in your program. Got a pretty nice race on Saturday, the field for the Ginger Punch, and let's take a quick look at it. And I don't know, did you handicap this race already?
Yeah, I mean, Shifty She won for Safi last time. You got a price at 11 to 1. You're not getting a price tomorrow, that's for sure. I think she's the house horse now, the one to beat, but everybody's, now she's the hunted as opposed to the hunter. Lovely Lulu. You see, this is a very good race, Ron, and I think Pete's got it on the morning line. Very competitive. Key Biscayne, Summering won a stakes last out for Tom Proctor, high percentage turf guy. Very, very good Ginger Punch tomorrow.
Yeah, I went with Mo of the West, and it's all about the trip for me. You did too. Yeah, it's all about the trip. So 9 to 2 on the board. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. What about our sister track? We're talking about we got a $350,000 jackpot guarantee here. Pimlico, they've had this incredible. It's up to $974,000. going into it. And, of course, that big day on Preakness Day, they bet $500,000 or something into it. And no one has hit it yet. It's a 20-cent wager, whether you're there, California, or whatever. So $9.74.
Big balloons, huh? And everybody down here knows how to play that bet. So get in. I mean, now with all that dead money in there, as the player now, you're getting all the best of it to take a shot. And you and I talked about it off the air. You don't necessarily have to sweep this. You're probably not going to sweep it. But take a play like you had earlier, $43.20. Try to turn that into 800 or so on a very logical combination that gives you over 200 chances, too.
You know, especially if you can find a single, you know, or something in that where you can spread in other cases. And you know, Pimlico, the races are pretty formful, so certainly you should jump in. And just wanted to mention this, that Santa Anita, you know, find their final week here before they close. You know, you can get tickets available. So finally they've opened up. You can get tickets. And the welcome back is welcome back, because you can come and actually watch the horses race.
Beautiful plant out there, the mountains in the background. Hopefully everybody, you know, now that we're kind of getting back to the world a little bit, hopefully people can enjoy closing weekend at Santa Anita. It's as beautiful as it gets out on the racetrack.
And that is jockey Mike Smith waiting for all the money that he makes to come down into his hands. So Pick 5 pool has got about $30,000 plus in it. We're going to take a short break. Brian and I will be here throughout the afternoon. Hope to give you some winning tickets or something at least, right, Brian?
Something. Here's hoping, Ron. We got 9 chances, right?
Yeah, there you go. Good luck, everybody.